So the last weeks, I've been busy trying to debug the container, see why it was not working on my machine. So for that, I needed so in VS Code, I have the debugger, so it should hit breakpoints. And so that was that's the first step, to have a command line Python script where the breakpoints are triggered in the editor. So you have the container and then the editor, and it communicates. And so now I'm trying that with the actual script, but I realized that Mike's script, so it's called, what's it called? So what's the command line like? Setup. Oh no, I don't have it. So the ROS2, that's a Python script as well. The command ROS2, when you issue ROS2 on the terminal. Yeah, it is. So do you think that I can, and then there's the ROS2, and then it loads another Python file. Do you think that I can debug the second Python file by placing a breakpoint on the first? Do you think that, essentially my question is, can I hit a breakpoint on the ROS2 executable?
Well, it's not an executable, it's a...
Yes, so
sorry.
Generally... Wait, Mike, did you work with debugger? Do you know the answer?
No, I didn't. I just basically logged out. But I think generally the nodes run as independent processes, so you're going to have to attach to lots of processes, I think.
Exactly.
To try and essentially get a debug statement to break on a breakpoint. I think you might find it difficult.
Yeah, I'm finding it difficult. That's why I'm asking. But it's...
Yeah. So if I was you, what I would. So the approach I've taken is there's a logger that's attached to the node, and I just if I kind of need to know more detail what's going on in the processing, I will just log out. I will use the logger to log stuff out to the console.
So did you develop all that stuff without the debugger then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
That's a feat. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I just use the logger in all fairness.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send you. There is an article on ROS2.
There is a what?
There is an article on ROS2 around debugging.
Okay.
I had to do debugging of I guess topics. I'll share it with you.
I think, Lionel, the main thing, in my opinion, for you is when you try and list the topics. You know, when you go ROS2 topics list. I think for me the main thing is if you try and list topics and there's nothing there, then you will never get the Python script to break on a breakpoint because it won't be called. I think the main thing, in my opinion, is to try and get into a position when you list the topics that it lists the topics, and that's going to be, unfortunately, like outside of ROS2. So that's going to be like a platform thing. So that's like that's not. Yeah, so that would be as soon as you can get topics to list, then I think I would try and attach debuggers and stuff like that. But until you can get topics to list, I wouldn't. I think you're just going to overcomplicate trying to attach debuggers. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, mate. That's just my opinion. That's my view.
Okay.
Yeah, and another way you can do that, the ROS2 run command has a -- prefix. and you can add your like GDB or whatever debugger you're using, right?
Yes.
Before that, yeah.
In the launch.json file in the
I'll send you
in the
another.
repo, I seen that there was lots of GDB stuff. So is that used by someone?
I just looked at the ROS questions and ROS answers, and I found this answer on it. Yeah, but yeah, it will be about attaching a debugger. That will be
okay. And where did you send the log?
on the ROS
the article
on the ROS2 channel.
On the ROS2 sub Discord?
Yeah.
Okay, see it now. Okay. Ah, okay, exactly like that. Okay, cool. Okay, I got some bones to chew on for the week.
Happy chewing.
Yeah, chew that one up.
Yeah, best of luck, mate. Yeah, it's
I think
You'll get there.
it's gonna be
You'll get
great. Yeah, I'll get there. It's gonna be great.
I'll
sign that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Have a good end of the day. See you guys.
Okay. Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, I will leave to. I will have to go early. Also, I'm going to the Renaissance Festival today.
Oh, nice. Having a dinner.
The entire family. It's
Family dinner.
Family event. Like,
Okay.
it's during the day, not really dinner.
Okay. We are on record, by the way.
For you,
so
yeah.
if you want to go into detail, just tell you we are on record now.
Oh, okay. No.
Since Lionel, you know. But yeah, good that you're still there. One thing I wanted to ask you, you said you want to go into ham radio, and there are some, and we want to create a channel for ham radio, just for the fun of it.
Yeah. No, I see a lot of talks about antennas and stuff all over the place. So it's better to have and I have a lot of questions about antennas because I'm trying to learn it.
Absolutely, okay. No, I will do, no problem. But this brings me to my question. I now have the equipment to set up an ADSB receiver. And I want to use this dumb 1090. Matty tested it. Sorry. Matty tested it, and dumb 1090 works from the get-go, and it delivers messages whenever they come in. So the idea is now we need someone to wrap a ROS, to make a ROS node out of it, so that it can receive subscriptions or whatever.
Yeah, I can do that. Or probably Mike will do it way faster than me at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can help with that. That's the problem. I'm just a little bit concerned that I think people are struggling to run the container. So even if I do it, then I might not be able to deliver it. So I think we need to kind of somehow get to the bottom of the ability to run the container and actually execute that stuff. Because if I can put whatever I want to in that container, but it's going to be of limited use if no one can use it.
Yeah, I'm back in my old house, so I'm getting my hardware back out of the boxes, so I should be able to run it on a normal PC this week.
Yeah, I was just wondering if someone else could maybe give it a try, and just because there could be something fundamentally wrong with what I've done, and that's definitely not beyond the realms of possibility. So I was just wondering if someone could maybe just follow the instructions and see if they can just run the container and see if you can get it up and running, really. And then, yeah, if you can't, then I think we're going to have to just kind of get to the bottom of that and try and document what's going on there, sort of thing,
Yeah. Well, I'm using NIX OS, so it's a bit more challenging for me to run because you have a lot of prerequisite to install before that, and don't have those installed at all.
No,
And
no, the only thing you need to, I think the only thing you really need is just the Docker runtime, in all fairness. So you just need Docker.
so
And then,
I can try. I'll take a look at it. Okay.
did you give it a go?
Yeah. I'll give it a go.
Yeah, the thing is, it needs to be easy to run, and if it's too complicated to run, then I need to like address that, you know. So it would be good if you could maybe just kind of follow. If you go onto like the Docker repo and maybe just follow.
I know. I looked at it. I never ran it.
Okay. Yeah, please, if you don't mind, because so as I say, I'm a little bit concerned now that it's kind of going to be, it works on my machine and on no one else's machine. So I really want to be sure.
Welcome to engineering problems. Software engineering.
I know.
It's quite normal.
I wonder.
It works on my machine. That's a very good start.
Works for me. WFM.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Mike, I wonder, does it have anything to do with the difference between Docker and Docker Compose by any chance? Where Docker Compose, I think you use multiple containers. Are you doing that or not doing that?
No, it just uses a single container. So Docker Compose, so no, it doesn't use Docker Compose. It just uses a single container.
I wonder if it would function better with multiple containers, each handling a separate activity. I mean, I don't know what your full build is, but something for, I don't know, BGS, whatever that is, something for the simple tracker, something for ROS2. I mean, I'm only thinking out loud right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
It's probably better to do it with Docker Compose, okay? Because then you're getting what it's called a true like microservice architecture, right? When each one is its own, each like node, ROS2 node, it's its own deployable unit, right? And then we can run it with Docker Compose. We can run each one separately. What it also allows, it allows us to actually do updates to different nodes without dependency on each other, right? Technically, if we have like two containers, A and B, and we updated A to a newer version, then we just need to run Docker Compose again with the updated version of A. We don't need to change B, right? It's a smaller build also.
Yeah, so I agree with you. The only thing I would, so I kind of partially agree with you. So I think from a scaling point of view, I think absolutely. But I think just to kind of ensure we can get it up and running, I think that's going to overcomplicate the whole thing. So because I'm just going to use the same container over and over and over. So if you can't get one instance of it up and running, then it's unlikely that you'll get several. So I think if I can just get some validation that that someone else can get it working, then at least I'll be okay that it does work elsewhere. I've managed to get it working on two machines following those instructions. One was a Windows box and the other one was a Linux box. But obviously I kind of know what's in the container and I know what commands to run and stuff like that. So I just so if I can just get some validation that someone else can run it, then I think then we can talk about like scaling it out by Docker Compose. Yeah, I'm not,
good. Yeah, one step at a time. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'll try. So tomorrow today I'm busy. Tomorrow I'm busy. I'll try Tuesday, and then if I have any issues, I'll message you. See how
Thank you.
go. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or maybe I'll try tomorrow night, and I'll just go walk through it through the night. We'll see.
It should, honestly, man. It should take you like 10 minutes if you've got a really quick broadband connection. It really should do, in all fairness. But if it doesn't, then it's not right, you know?
Yeah. No, but I want to do other stuff. I want to also, like I have some issues with the camera. I'm not able to detect it. So I'm trying to figure out what that is going on. The pipe does detect it. The full-blown Stellar Mate does detect it, right? The piece that I created, like bare minimal OS, doesn't. So there is something here that I'm missing. I'll figure it out.
The driver.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk
No,
about that
I
soon.
I think it's like USB permissions or something like that the driver fails access.
Maybe it's about the UDEF rules, and they have to be set up properly. But I don't have any problems with that. I have 3 laptops here, and all they can connect to the camera. Maybe I set up the UDEF rules on them correctly.
Okay,
But
I mean, for now, I
just-
just installed my version of IndieFool.
Yeah.
Right, that has the driver and has everything. So.
And the service is running.
Well, I'm trying just to run the driver itself before the server, because the driver itself, when it runs, it tells you if it finds that camera, and it doesn't, right? I'll figure it out. It just takes time.
Okay, but I can send you my UDEF rule file for the cameras.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, compare your settings, okay.
Yeah, it's easy because once I figure out at NIX, I know it will work.
Is this the same issue that Oliver has, Christian?
Maybe. I think so. But since things are running on the Pi, it doesn't matter if it's Stellar MateOS or Astroberry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the problem lies. But I think the UDEF rules can have an effect on it.
What power supply are you using, Ido, for the camera?
One that came with the camera.
Okay.
It's a good one, big one. It's 5 amps or 4 amps. Hungry.
I think 6 amps.
Yeah, I'm using. I have 2 for the cameras because I've got the ZWO RZ1600 and I want to run them in parallel, so I need 2, and the one has 7.5 amps and the other one 10. So I'm on the good side here. So I don't think that it's at least you need 2 amps to run the camera. And when you want to switch on the cooling, you need about 6 to 7 amps.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
another
then you
issue
can
that I have.
then you can cool down the Peltier element below 50 degrees as a delta T.
But Christian, you use the same power supply, right? The one
I do not
out
know
the box.
because with the QHY I don't I haven't got a power supply with it. But I had several because I'm running astronomical CCD and CMOS cameras for the last 20 years. So I have a lot of power supplies that can deliver that amount. And so I didn't care about having it with it.
Richard, like I do see the cameras when I use TaylorMade. Something else. It's not the power supply. But Christian, I have issues with the 3D printer. I can't print with that material. Like I see like spider webs everywhere. It's like drives me crazy.
Okay, I will get you the Cura settings again.
Yeah.
Because there I solved it.
Okay.
I have no power supply either.
I'm sorry?
I have no power supply either.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Did you get it from Tommy?
No.
No.
That's why.
It's the European version.
But you got it from Tommy, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you check the power supply whether there is
You're on mute, Tommy.
Let me see.
check the power
Yeah,
supply?
I bought mine.
What's on it?
I bought mine with all the power supplies. but they kept saying, "Well, just use the USB," and I said, "No, I
No.
can't."
12 volt, 6 amps.
Yeah,
Use the
at
USB.
least.
Yeah, so this is the power supply.
What does it tell? I can't read exactly. It's too small for me. Can you say?
Just double click on his
Output.
picture. And
What
it'll
is the
blow.
output?
12 volts, 6 amps.
It's 6 amps. Okay. It should do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hungry, so it's good.
So Christian, what would you say is the, for example, if I'm here on my Windows computer and I want to use the camera and plug it in the USB drive, what software shall I use? Shall I install a driver first? And which one?
I'm just running Linux, so I can't tell you about what to do on Windows.
Okay.
On Linux, I just install the Indy full package and casters, and make sure that then I install the libqhy and make sure that the libindy-qhy program has the same version number as libindy, because it's very sensitive to that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then I start up K-stars with echoes, and then I do the settings, select which camera I want to use. For my telescope, I'm choosing additionally the mount that I want to use,
Okay,
and
okay.
then I fire up the web manager, select the same drivers there, and then I connect to it.
Okay, so the easy way, you install Indy full on Linux, Indy 4, and then you say the second step is install some casters. What is this?
Casters? K-stars. It's a program.
K-stars.
It's K-stars.
So, okay, you install K-stars right after Indy 4. Okay, K-stars.
Yeah, depends on the system. On Debian-based package management system, you can install it in just one command, and with on Arch you do have to do it after each other. And then I first install the Indy stuff, the driver, and afterwards, as last K-stars,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's all I do.
Okay, got it. So on Windows, I would say there's this WinIndy service, Windy, as they say, and I can install this and have the driver within, I assume. It's like Indy full with a driver.
I do not know, because I haven't tried it.
Okay.
On Windows, I would go by ASCOM.
Did anyone try it? Wait a second. What did you just say? You would go with ASCOM?
On Windows, I would go with ASCOM. It's some similar thing that can be used on Windows, but I do not have much knowledge about it, because I do not use it. I just use Windows to get Fusion 360 running, and that's all. And there's nothing else installed on my Windows system. Because there is a problem with Windows. It just throws away what comes from the real-time clock chip and runs the system clock with the CPU, and this is not real-time. And this has a major effect on the mount. This has a major effect on the camera. It is not real-time, so I don't use Windows.
It's okay, Christian. You don't have to explain yourself every time.
So the next question I have really is, are we going to have to support Windows?
You can answer yourself.
Like, we're going to have SD images, so probably not.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. Because
unless you tell me that Windows is open source, then I'm willing to do it.
No. Well, it's not so much for me, mate. It's more for people that use Windows, really. So
I think we should. I think we should get people to switch over to Linux on everything.
Yeah, NIX, everything.
Mhm.
I agree.
yeah, you might have some pushback with that, but yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have to kind of make that clear, I suppose. So Richard, you're gonna have to become familiar with Linux, mate. Unfortunately.
I'm working with Linux since Unix System 5,
Okay.
1990. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we
I'm
just take the
old,
lot?
you know?
That's fine. No, I didn't. I'm not implying that. I'm just trying to figure out
It's
because
just my pullover is
we,
young.
we are going to have questions about, oh, I can't run this on a such and such.
This
And
is the only Windows I have.
so do we just
Is this
say
Windows
we don't support that?
3.1?
This is Windows in 98. Here is the computer.
Oh,
Yep, a
dear.
man after my own heart.
It's a museum.
Okay, guys, I have to step out for now because I have to take care of some things. And yeah, I think the discussion about Windows versus Linux, yeah, there are several advantages with the Linux, and I think we should go by Linux.
No,
Because
that's fine. I just think we need to be very transparent with the fact that we don't support Windows then. I think it's going to be just easier to go, we don't support Windows. This only works on Linux, and it just makes it very, very, like, just draws a line sort of thing. Because I've been kind of trying to get my stuff to work on Linux and Windows via WSL2, and, you know, it takes time to kind of get all that stuff, like test it and try and get it work and those sorts of things, you know?
Well, Mike,
Okay.
I love it. You saved me a lot of mental energy trying to make things work on Windows, which is part of what I've been doing. It's just like, it's maddening. So thank you.
Linux.
okay,
Cool.
guys, see you next week.
See you.
Goodbye.
Cheers, dude.
Bye.
Because now I need to get my NIX shirt.
Tommy, do you have a minute?
Pardon me? What did you say?
Tommy, do you have a minute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Circling back to Skinwalker Ranch, a couple of questions. One, did they ever formally decide anything about the missing blue cow when they were going to the overhead, LiDAR shots?
Yeah, so I asked him about that. The way I perceived, the way his answer came out, I perceived that he didn't understand. Well, whether he understood or not is, I guess, is another issue. But the way I explained it to him was, I asked him why he didn't zoom in on that one filter, and he said, "Well, we'll just do a live stream and we'll do it all over again." And we were like, "Okay,"
Well,
but
Yeah,
he
well, I had a
didn't
thought on that.
explain it.
Yeah. Well, I had a thought on that, okay, because the one that's blue, it actually looks like it's shot more from a horizontal direction, whereas the one where it goes missing in the void, they showed the drone path overhead, so the lidar is going to be looking straight down. So if the carcass was occulted by the leaves and branches, well, the data point cloud, it's just not going to show it. So when you do the synthetic camera, when you come over, it's just going to look like a hole there, and there's really not any particular mystery other than the angle of the sensor when they did it. So that that's one of those things that was kind of flashed on when I was watching that piece of it yesterday. And you might mention that because it might save them a lot of difficulty and confusion. So. But the second thing I wanted to mention, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Second thing I wanted to mention, one of the other things that came out on the program there was Eric mentioned that when he's there by himself, he really doesn't like leaving the command center. Okay. That struck a particular chord with me because it's been a couple of years now. Okay. But for a while, okay, I don't know why, and I still have no explanation for why it occurred, but I had the situation where I was literally afraid to go out my front door. Okay. I think the term is agoraphobia or something like that. And I was worried I was developing like a full-blown case of it. The thing that never struck me about it, until kind of after it cleared up, was simply the idea that it only happened when I was here at my home. Okay. I go out to get groceries and whatnot, no big deal. Okay. So it was one of those, something local, to the homestead here. And one of the ways I got over it, and you might mention it to him, again, this is speculation, but it might be worth trying out, was I started wearing my noise canceling headset, when I go outside. And, and that kind of led me to the conclusion in the case here, because there's some other weird things that go on around here, that it might have been a case of something like infrasound messing with the mind, and apparently it does have, like some of the infrasound frequencies can have it. And so what I wanted to mention to him, especially since I went through something similar, it was really kind of nasty, all right, it might be worth a shot. Take a set of noise canceling headsets out with him, when he's out there, and just see if it makes any difference to how he perceives it. The only downside is, of course, that means that if something's sneaking up on you, you won't hear it coming. But I haven't found that to be a real serious problem. And there's varmints up the hill here that, hey, I'm on their menu, not the other way around. So, So anyway, I thought I'd mention that as something he might try and just see if it's helpful.
Yeah, no problem. I'll ask him. He did go into the LiDAR situation, but what he said was, we'll just do another live stream and just do it all over again, just show it all over again. So I'll reach out to him and ask him when he's going to do that, so we can kind of get everybody involved in the situation.
You might just also say, well, go down, when he's doing his LiDAR shots now, I'm working on the assumption that the LiDAR is just looking straight down. Now, most things on drones are set on gimbal.
He said he's running two different tests. One is with the Phoenix system, and another one is with this other system. So I guess the Phoenix system must be able to...
it's a line scanner.
The Phoenix is a line scanner? I was thinking the other one was. Okay, so one of them
maybe it's the other way around. One is a line scanner.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them is a line scanner, but then the other one's more of a scatter, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think I think he said the one with the blue and yellow that we saw, that one was the Phoenix one. Okay. The Phoenix software, I guess, is what he was calling it.
Yeah.
And then the second one was just by lines, basically. It's a grid pattern.
So
like I said, he was talking about he was getting his point cloud, and that's what you're looking at. But like I said, it looked to me like it was shot straight down. And if the carcass was obscured by leaves, branches, whatever, when they do that virtual camera to roll out, right? Well, the data it's got is for here and some on the ground, and it can't really see what's underneath them. And so when you come around, what's going to happen? It's just going to say, oh, there's nothing there. It doesn't have any data points in that area.
What he was trying to make a point, though, on that video that we saw, he didn't zoom in far enough for us to really see it in detail. But the point that he was trying to make is that even though that spot is still there, it's still smaller than the cow. So what he's saying is, how did the leaves and the ground get picked up from the laser if the cow was covering it? That's all he's saying. I said, well, you should have zoomed in further so we could have seen that in more detail. And he said, well, we'll do that on the next live stream.
Okay. Tommy, can you ask him whether they are in possession of the data, or is the data still with the partner?
Yeah, they have. No, they haven't. No. Yeah, no, he's paying. Brandon is paying that guy to be there, so he's getting all that data.
The easiest way to do is to take both data sets, let's say from the blue one and the yellow one, let's say, okay? Take both, throw them together in one container, load them up, and give each one a different color, a red and a blue, and then look at the differences. And I'm quite sure that the carcass is there in both, maybe with different resolution or what have you.
No.
And they're making an elephant out of a fly in this case. That's anyhow.
That's TV shows.
What do you say?
That's one of those things. That might be the History Channel just trying to again get some plot points in there. Because again, they will do that on reality television. Again, it's back to we want a hook for keep viewers coming back. And it struck me that particular piece of it, if it was History Channel doing that, then it was basically with the idea of now you see it, now you don't, and we can't explain this.
No.
And
let me explain this. Hold on. You're right, but let me explain this. The footage that we just saw will not air on History Channel. So what we saw was for the insiders only. So what I'm saying is that test was for the insiders only. Well, I don't mean to say insiders only. Only the insiders will see it. But they did that test for themselves, not because History Channel told them to. And that's the point, is that Brandon brought him on the property specifically to do that.
Yeah. Okay. My misunderstanding on that, but it just, given what, the background with the History Channel and knowing a little bit about how they work on things, again, it's about audience retention.
Oh, agreed.
And, advertising dollars, all that kind of thing. And, that's fine, but they will do, not necessarily in this particular case, but they will do things that I consider a bit disingenuous, right? Again, set the hook in the audience so that next week they'll be back. And so that's, again, that's just the perception I had on that particular piece.
That's the media. That's the downside of that.
Yeah.
Ido, may I come back to the question where we actually started from until we derived into Docker and so forth? It's about the dump 1090 tool. Are you familiar with it?
No.
Nope. Okay. Dump 1090 is on GitHub. It's called dump 1090 in one word.
Okay.
It's the binaries for Linux for several to download. The question is now it already works, and either you connect the device to it or it has, I think, built-in random generator giving an output. So you get the idea of the telegram that's coming out. So the question is, could you make a ROS node or what is needed?
I said I'll do that. Yeah.
So, perfect. So dump 1090 it is, you will find your way. You don't need anything. Do you have hardware, by the way?
No, not for this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll use the random, but sure, I'll do that.
Cool, super.
I'll take a look at Mike's Docker stuff, and then I'll take a look at this, and
Yeah, super. Thank you. Before.
By the way, I'm speaking tomorrow with the person that created NIX OS.
Hey, cool.
Yeah.
Why is that so?
Very cool. I'm sorry?
Why is that so? Why you jump in these people?
Yeah, I mean, interested in the history and what their plan is.
Okay.
No, but I have some questions around they have like this build system called Hydra. And because we're going to have packages, I'm wondering if we can utilize the version that's already running, or do we need to run ourselves something, right? Like technically, we can just create a Sky 360 NIX package for, let's say, I don't know, all of our robotic parts.
So for all platforms and it's all parts.
Exactly, for all platforms, and their build server will build it. They have one for the community, so I assume that it will be okay to use. I just want to double check on that.
Cool.
And then they have some it's called NIX Ops, like for operations. That I have some questions about it also that I want to figure out.
Is this autonomous updating thing?
It's how to do update, how to do rollback on, how to do deployment on multiple machines.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and we will need that. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so we will have over-the-air updates also for the system. Yeah.
Over the air. Simulated.
That's how it's called.
Simulated or not.
That's how it's called. Connected to the internet, and you'll have to be able to. You'll be able to update the system. And if the update fails, what's nice because it's NIX, you can just go back to the previous version and everything works.
Yeah, cool.
And you just do it in the boot. You reset go to one previous, and that's it.
I get it. Yeah, we used the stuff from Windows and it was expensive. Okay.
Windows doesn't have that.
There's a software. There's a service. It's a cloud service that you can.
Yeah, that one. No.
Yes. I'm not going to do it anymore, so that's why I learned my lesson. So before anyone leaves here, and before anyone more leaves here, I want to discuss a point that came up yesterday, because yesterday we had the session with Tommy at 5 p.m. UTC, and I saw Joe from Sydney coming up, because it's 6 a.m. from Saturday to Sunday. And my question is to all of you, how is your point of view? Shall we stick to the Sunday meetings, or is it better for you to, let's say, do it on Saturdays? Or what is your opinion?
Just me personally, Richard.
Go ahead, Michael.
Richard? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, myself, I tend to prefer the Sunday one, but I don't have any problem whatsoever with doing it Saturday either. So me, either one's fine, but
Okay.
a slight preference to Sunday.
Okay.
So, but again, no.
Okay. Good.
Either way is fine.
Ido, what's your point?
I can do both.
You can do both. Tommy?
Yeah.
Anytime.
Anytime. Hey, wow. Rebecca? You're muted, Rebecca, if you say something. Okay. Mike, what do you say?
I'd probably, I might not be able to attend all of them on a Saturday, but that's fine, because I won't have I won't have updates every Saturday. But
Sorry, I'm here.
I'll try.
Well, hold on, Rebecca, hold on. And you're next. I wanted to make clear with Mike that I understood everything. So, Mike, you say you would go for a Saturday, but you would not be able to attend everyone. That's what you want to say, right?
Yes.
And the difference to Sunday is?
I'm usually home on a Sunday because Monday's a work day, sort of thing.
Okay.
Where Saturday, I could be at the pub or somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Really. So yeah, that's the only reason.
Okay. Yeah, tendency to Sunday. Got it. Rebecca, please.
But I'm fine. Look, I prefer if we can get more people involved, especially from Aussie, and if we have to switch to a Saturday, then that's probably a better thing. If everyone's okay, that's just my opinion, right?
Yes, Mike, but it is also something that I wanted to make it in a democratic way. So the more people tend to what time or fits best for most, that's I want to focus on. So
sure,
if we have more people in Asia time zones, because there's only Joe for now, no other developers there. They're stationeers, but not developers. So for now, it's only one person. The question is, where do we balance to? That's all I want to learn here.
Of course.
Rebecca, what is your idea of it?
Okay, I wanted to say two things. The first thing is that I'm available anytime because I work for myself, so that'll be fine. And then two, I was able to get Mike G's Simple Tracker to work, which is why you were calling me and I couldn't respond to you because I was on something else. But I was able to get his Simple Tracker Docker build to work.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Hey, Mike,
I don't know how.
There's the answer for your Docker.
I'm very happy. I'm very excited, actually. So.
Oh, well done. Awesome.
Okay, hey, and then Oliver, are you here? Are you in? No, I think Oliver is not online at the moment. Oh yeah,
Yes,
he
I'm here.
is. Oh, sorry. So what's your opinion? Saturday, Sunday?
I still prefer Sunday, but if you decide to go on Saturday, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I can handle this.
Okay. So what I learned from you guys here, I would say we have a little bit more tendency to Sunday, so we stick it as it is. And yeah, Joe, sorry, if there are more developers in your time zone, we will certainly find another date that is more suitable to more people.
Well, Richard, have you actually heard back from Joe down there that one way or the other?
Excuse me, which topic are you
Oh,
talking
I
about?
said, have you actually heard from Joe? Aussie Joe, one way or the other from him? Because if it's a case of Saturday would work better for him, then as I mentioned, I don't have any problem with it. I just have a preference for Sunday. But getting his inclusion in there, I think, would be worthwhile. If that's what it took.
Yeah, still it is. I mean, especially for Joe in Sydney, still it is 6 a.m. in the morning. So it would be every Saturday 6 a.m. in the morning. So yes, a little bit better than Sunday because Monday he has to go to work. But anyways, 6 a.m. Saturday in the morning, it's not everyone's. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not at my best at 6 a.m. I can tell you that.
Definitely not.
He gets up early. I don't know about Saturdays, but he gets up like at 3:30 and 4 o'clock.
Did he say that? Really? Okay.
No, I talked to him. He'll text me sometimes. I'm like, dude, it's so early in the morning. What are you doing? But he gets up that early, so.
Jesus. Okay, one last thing, administration-wise. We were thinking about bringing. Okay, our association has members, what we call supporting members. These supporting members do not have any obligation besides being registered with us. Meaning, we as an association, as an NGO, are allowed for doing within our membership group more things than we can do with people from the outside. For example, things financially, tax-wise, for example. And that's why we have spoken about it, and our idea is to bring developers as we did with the stationeers. So the stationeers was needed because we were only allowed to sell within our membership group. So by purchasing an enclosure, you will automatically become a supporting member. For some of you developers who are not a supporting member now, we would like to ask you whether you're interested to become a supporting member. It's just, we just take you in our registry and that's it. We do not publish it anywhere. It's just, let's say, a factor of legal realm that we are open when we deal with supporting members. It gives us more opportunities, tax-wise, especially tax-wise. So in this case, if you agree with this, I would ask you to send me a DM with your name, email address, and post address. Oliver, that's right. Email address and post address. Correct, exactly. So if you are interested in becoming a supporting member and we can bring you closer to the organization and exchange, let's say, material, for example, without running into tax issues, so please send me a DM with your name and email and postal address. And yes, and if you could do the as soon as possible, please, without telling you why, but please trust me in this, if you could send me your DMs as soon as possible. You won't regret. Okay, for something
quick
different.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a date coming up for availability on enclosures?
Yes, I've spoken with Interform 2 days ago, Friday, The delay is, as I was told, due to a delivery of the ABS material. So, first of all, there was 1 ton of ABS material, 5mm. It's a special sheet, it's a special format that you don't normally use in all thermoforming projects. So he had to order this one. That's a special delivery from, by the way, an Austrian company producing this material, especially in this format, in this 5mm. So mostly it's 3 or 4mm. So let's say 90% of all projects is 3 or 4mm. That's why he had to order this last year for the first batch. And we thought he cannot use it for other projects because it's such a rare material that no other project needs. So he's still sitting on 800 kilograms from that material. So that's why we were thinking when we order, we will get it immediately, let's say after tool making. Thing is, he had to order it again, find the right partner to deliver it and so forth. Long story short, he now received the material. Okay, so this week, last week, he received the material. And because he's a producer, Tommy, you will know this behavior. If there is a date in the future, for example, you get something delivered in 3 months, but there is some preparation to do for this. Most people do not start immediately with this preparation because you have to wait 3 months anyway. So they postponed the preparations, the tool making, into the future. Okay? Until they knew they get the material, so they make it this project, our project, in one loop, you know. Long story short, he promised me to have these next batch, second batch, delivered in mid-December, so within the next 2 to 2.5 weeks. Okay, he already started the tool changes, and they will be finished next week, and then comes the production round. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, our idea, Tommy, is that we keep them on stock now because these delays take too much time. We always keep a certain amount of in stock just for the quick sale.
Especially once we get the software going, you're going to need to keep them in stock because people are going to want to do something now.
True.
another fast question for those of us in the U.S. is like Tommy there, like the kind of distributor and keeper of the keys, or or are we going to have to do shipping from overseas?
No, I'm buying everything, having it shipped in, and then what I'm doing is I'm getting the manufacturer to give us a dealer discount or a distribution discount, and then I just pass that along to the group.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
okay. I was just kind of curious about that point.
We need a Tommy for every continent.
Yeah, I think between the cameras and the lenses and whatever we do on the CPUs will probably be our most important thing outside of the hub. Will be the most important things to keep in stock. So that's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if we buy it in bulk, it'll be a lot easier for us to get our hands on it, because I'm finding that unless you're buying in bulk, it's harder to get shipment now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're wanting to push you back into the reseller channel to buy it from people that already have it in stock.
Okay. They want to work off their storages.
Yeah. And then you don't get a break for it. So.
All right. Any other topic? Any one of you wants to raise?
No, just about the ADS-B.
Yes.
So I don't have ROS2 set up on NIX yet. Okay. I can do it on Docker, but I prefer not to. It just will drive me crazy. Anyway, Mike, if you can help with the ROS2, I can actually take the dump 1090 and create a proper NIX package for it. And it looks like there is another dependency on what it is, lib blade RF that I will need to create a NIX package for as well. I just want to make sure that I have a consistent build before I work on anything.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I can, if
Yeah,
you,
okay.
yeah, no, that's no worries. I'm back home tomorrow, and then it's probably just going to take me a week just to get kind of back into things and all that sort of stuff. So I'm probably not going to be able to. I'm not going to be very productive this coming week, but
Okay.
off. I can have a go after that. I mean, the other thing I have on my to-do list, just to make you guys aware, really, is I want to try and get the so there's a Jetson inference GitHub repository, and then off that is a dependency to another repository called, I think it's called Jetson Deep Learning or something like that. And I want to try and get all that stuff working, and then I want to try and build a model that uses airplanes from our material to see if I can train it. And so I'm going to go down that route to try and see if I can get a model trained using our material, and then aircraft recognized in video. That's like my next big pull, is to see if I can get some intelligence and kind of try and get all that stuff working. Because I think it'll be a good experiment to go down. And the route I've taken, the route I'm going down is is the TechNet, which uses TensorRT. And then I think I might have covered this last week actually, but and I've kind of been got some interest in deep stream as well. So it's with a view to maybe head down the deep stream route, but I just want to try and get the TechNet stuff working up first, because there's already examples of that available. So that's going to be my next big task, really. And as soon as Fabio's got updated background subtractors, I will get those built in, and they're going to be separate things. So the current ROS2 simple tracker is using background subtraction, and so I'm not going to change that massively. The TechNet stuff I'm going to write under the Sky Sentinel sort of project to see if I can get that working. And then if I can get that working and I can demo it to you guys, it's probably going to take me a little while to get that up and running. Try and demo it to you guys, and then we've basically got two options. We've got one where we track using background subtraction and blob detection, and which is very simple. It just tracks pixels or blobs. And then we're going to have another option, which is basically something that's more machine learning and neural networky based, and try to do some classification of objects in the sky and stuff.
Okay.
So I might be asking for training material over the coming months.
Okay. Yeah. I think Lionel still has the disk, a terabyte disk. Is this true? That once was with you, and I think it was part of.
So I posted that to Lionel. So so I don't have that. I've still got the material. I've still got the videos though. I copied the video, so I've got all of those. Yeah. So I can generate. Like, I know there's some stuff that Brad's done recently, which I would also like to get my hands on. But I can definitely generate training material from those videos, if that's essentially what you've been using, Richard. Because I saw when you shared a screen like last week, you had a big folder with a lot of cropped images of airplanes and all those sorts of things. Is that just from the training material that is doing the rounds on the disk.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can generate that myself. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah,
then.
exactly. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
just using your tools. Check them.
Yeah,
check them.
no, that's cool. I was just wondering if you had like additional videos or
I have
something
additional
that
videos that you didn't have yet. I do have them. That's why my
Okay.
idea, I will ask Lionel to send me the 1 terabyte disk, then I delete everything and put new stuff on it and send to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that would work. I mean, there's no rush in all fairness, because I've obviously got a lot of videos to work through anyway. So
Okay.
so there's no immediate rush. But
Expect
and
it
I've
for
got to try and
Christmas.
I'm gonna have to try and do proof of concept and see if I can actually get the old training thing working and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of work that I need to do before I need the training material or additional training material. So there's absolutely no rush. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Hey, Mike, do you remember what Nicola told us when he was speaking about the networks he was creating and working on? There was a moment when he was speaking up on, please correct me if I'm wrong, recurring neural network where the data is a stream and not a package of information, so that the information is permanently updated and
So I think we can get there. I think so. I'll try and explain. So the reason I'm taking the route I'm taking is because there are examples readily available, and it just kind of breaks us into that sort of topic, because I think as soon as I think it's one of those things, right? Because people do lose interest if these things take a long time. So as soon as you can show that you've got this concept working, then it's easier to use that as a springboard to move it forward. Then, because I think sometimes the problem is some people find it really difficult to decide what route to take, and so for me, the reason I'm taking the route I am is because it's a proven technology with proven support on the NVIDIA platform, which is the thing that we are looking at using. And there's there are examples available, so I don't have to start from scratch. And so forth and so on. There's like a write-up as to how you train material, and I don't have to decide on the type of neural network. That's already been decided for me. And a lot of those decisions NVIDIA have already made. So I'm just piggybacking. I'm hopefully just going to piggyback on the back of what NVIDIA have done, which just makes it easier to get it working, and the barrier to entry is like lower, because I don't have to like decide on the neural network and then do all the deciding how to train it and all that sort of stuff. That's because that's quite a big ask. So I'm just kind of going to leverage what's there and try and get it to work. And then if I can get it to work, then hopefully we can then gather more interest, because then we need training material. Then we're at a stage where we need training material, and people can help produce training material, and we can test what. Sorry, yeah. So does that make sense? I mean,
absolutely.
It might not be the best.
So
it might not be the best, but it's just a starting point.
I get your point. I'm just not. I'm totally far away from this topic. It just came in my mind when I recall what Nicola was talking to us, and he was using a setup which he said is very easy to reproduce, because it's the only difference is these networks work for permanent input coming in, while versus the other networks, they work either from single images or a bunch of, so you have to wait until 5 images are in, for example. These kind of.
Yeah, so I think I have seen quite a lot of comments about trying to set the whole thing working, and then so that it can continuously learn over time. So I think there are people that have tried
Continuously
that.
learning, yeah,
and
that was the word.
yeah, so I think there are people that have tried that using this approach. I've not investigated that too much, because if I can get it working initially, then and I can get it working using a model I've trained, or that we've trained using our training material, then I think that's a massive win. And because I know using that stuff, it will take advantage of like the GPUs and all those sorts of things. So it's the best way for us to kind of get the most performance out of it, out of the hardware we've got. And I think once we can get it to recognize, stuff, then I think we can take it further. But initially, I think it's just to try and get a proof of concept working, and kind of then we can go from there, really. And I'm no expert in this field. I've kind of started reading a book on it, and kind of watched some YouTube videos and read some articles and those sorts of things. And the hope is that we can then, hopefully someone who is more expert in this area will get interested,
Yeah, so absolutely, Mike. I'm totally with you that it's better to have a base where others can build upon than always wait for the one who comes in and builds his from zero.
Yeah.
And we had already 3 people starting from scratch, and this is definitely not the way to go further on. Absolutely with you.
Yeah, so that was just I was thinking, because it is, yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be, so that's like, other than, I'm not going to, the simple tracker stuff, I'm not going to develop much further. It was mainly used as a learning curve for me. When I'd like to get Fabio's updated background subtractor and all those sorts of things integrated in that, but the next step is going to be to try and move on to the neural networky side of things.
All right, cool.
Okay, that's just in my update, basically.
Okay, perfect. Okay, anyone else? Any contribution? Otherwise, I'd say we stop recording.